truck was parked back in the trees just beyond the fence line. The lights flicked on, then off. It looked like a signal. My stomach dropped. I started backing away slowly. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the bat. I was only a couple of feet away from the door when I stepped on a branch. It cracked loud enough to echo across the pasture. Both their heads snapped in my direction. I peeped out and screamed. One of them had swung an axe up from the ground. The other followed his gaze and locked onto my hiding spot. A single word, alive, passed between them as they broke into a run. Without thinking, I bolted for the house. Behind me, I heard them pick up speed, boots pounding against the ground. I could hear them getting closer. I made it through the patio door and slammed it shut, fumbling with the lock. My hands were shaking so bad that I almost couldn't turn it. The second I got it locked, someone grabbed the handle from the outside and yanked hard. The door rattled violently in its frame. I stumbled backward and heard footsteps moving around the house. They were testing the windows. The back door handle jiggled. A window in the kitchen rattled. I called 911 with my hands shaking so bad I could barely hold the phone. I told the dispatcher that there were men on the property trying to get inside the house. She said deputies were on the way, 20 minutes out. I grabbed Sarah's bat and sat on the bathroom floor, watching the camera feeds. My heart was pounding in my chest. I was literally sobbing and praying that the cops would show up before it was too late. The men had stopped trying the doors and the windows. There were 3 of them, and they were standing in the driveway now, talking. One kept looking at the house as if he'd been waiting for word of approval to barge in. Another was on his phone and kept nodding. He disconnected the call, said something to his friends, and they started walking away. Maybe who was ever on the side had called him back. But then the one eyeing the house stopped, picked up a stone, and hurled it in the living room window. His friends laughed and dragged him away. By the time I heard sirens in the distance, they'd disappeared into the tree line. Ranger came back an hour after the deputies arrived. He was shaking and wouldn't let me touch him for a while. A patch on his side had been shaved. The deputies searched the property with flashlights. They found cut fencing hidden behind brush near the tree line, and fresh tracks running across the back pasture. When we counted the cattle, 2 were missing. The lead officer took notes and asked questions. He said it looked like a livestock theft, probably professionals. He told me they'd try their best, but his face said it all. Sarah sold the cattle 6 months later. She leased the land out to a neighbor and never restocked. We didn't talk about that night much, but I knew it changed something for her. I haven't stayed overnight in the farm since. I just can't without reliving that night again. I still wake up to nightmares sometimes. In them, the caller permits them to break in, and instead of them walking away, they barge in.